She let me do her.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Blessings, blessings, yeah. I see elephant tusks on the bow of a sailing lady, docked on the Ivory Coast. Mercedes in a row, winding down the road. I hope my black skin don't dirt this white tuxedo before the boss got sure. And if so, well fuck it, because this water drowned my family. This water makes my blood. This water tells my story. This water knows it all. Go ahead and spill some champagne in the water. Go ahead and watch the sun blaze on the waves of the ocean.
Dope boy still smelling like cocaine. White boat, white road, can he be more cleaner? The oil spill at BP ain't clean up. I'm anti-Santa Maria. Only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace. I don't even like Washingtons in my pocket. Black card go hard when I'm shopping. Boat docked in front of her man's picking cotton. Silken fleeces, lay on my Jesus. Oh my God, I hope y'all don't get seasick. See me in shit you never saw. If it wasn't for these pictures, they wouldn't see me at all. Whole world's in awe. I crash through glass ceilings, I break through closed doors. I'm on the ocean, I'm in heaven. Yachting, Ocean 11.
Elephant tusk on the bow of a sailing lady, docked on the Ivory Coast. Mercedes in a row, winding down the road. I hope my black skin don't dirt this white tuxedo before the boss got sure. And if so, well fuck it, because this water drown my family. This water makes my blood. This water tells my story. This water knows it all. Go ahead and spill some champagne in the water. Go ahead and watch the sun blaze on the waves of the ocean.
Me and Tatas like Pablo and Papa, winding dirt roads on mopeds, spilling opus. Welcome to the magnum opus, the Magna Carta, the best-selling author decoded. Yeah, on a holiday playing strange fruit. I'ma make it to a Billy, I can't take the same route. Swoosh, that's the sound of the border. Swoosh, and that's the sound of a baller. Muhammad Hovey, my back against the rope. The black Maybach, I'm back inside the boat. Shepherd Ferry, they finally gave me some hope. Can't believe they got a nigga to vote. Democrat, nope, so dope. The troubled waters had to learn how to float. On the ocean, I'm in heaven. Yacht, Ocean 11.
Elephant tusk on the bow of a sailing lady, docked on the Ivory Coast. Mercedes in a row, winding down the road. I hope my black skin don't dirt this white tuxedo before the boss got sure. And if so, well fuck it, because this water drown my family. This water makes my blood. This water tells my story. This water knows it all. Go ahead and spill some champagne in the water. Go ahead and watch the sun blaze on the waves of the ocean.
Hey, what's good? Welcome to the Wyatt Live 5 p.m. drive home show. I apologize. I'm a little bit working a little bit behind right now. I just plugged up, just got things going, and sorry I had a phone call. I apologize. Let me get set up right here. It's going to take me a hot second. I just let the music run and let the intro go and do what I do, but I had a phone call that I needed to take care of. Y'all know my immediate family comes before anything, and I wanted to make sure that I got that taken care of before I got into a lengthy conversation. So here we are. Welcome to the Wyatt Live 5 p.m. drive home show. I appreciate those that came in, gave me your time. Looking at a couple of the comments, my cousin said, this entrance by Wyatt is getting lengthy. Smile. Well, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it is probably getting lengthy because I'm usually doing something while the music is playing. I'm either on the phone or I'm texting or emailing something. My 9 to 5 pay a hell of a lot more than my 5 p.m. show. And it sure in the hell pay a lot more than my 9 o'clock show. So my 9 to 5 has to take priority over this free shit. All right. So that's why sometimes I let the music play. Sometimes I have a couple songs or something going because I can't get on right away. And I don't want people to log in and I not be here. And then when I get, you know what I'm saying, if they get here and I'm not here or no music or nothing is playing, then they go away. They think I have no show today. So I play it like that. You know what I'm saying? I let the music play. For those that are here, man, I try to mix my shit up, the music up a little bit. I try to mix it up so people will like it. I ain't played no Al Green yet, cuz, so I know you waiting for the Al Green shit to drop, right? When I get the Luther or the Al Green, then you'll be all right. Let that shit rip, cuz, let it roll. All right, I'll play cool in the gang next time. All right. For now, we got this shit right here. All right, what's good with everybody? Welcome to the 5 p.m. Drive Home Show. I want to thank everybody for being here. Short show today, but so I'm going to get right to it. I only got one topic to speak about today. I was able to put a few files together and some clips of a press conference today. I don't know if it was a press conference. It was titled an apology. And I just want everybody's feel on it. I haven't had time to really get proper information, I just haven't had time to dig down into it. I'm an information guy. I don't hear things one time and think I got it. I don't I you know, I'm just a little methodical. So you can't say something to me one time and say study show or whatever. You can't do that to a guy like me. I need to sink my own teeth into the conversation or to what's going on. That's just the truth of the matter. I called Emmanuel Livingston. For those that watch E-Man show right before this one, go check him out. Very interesting topics, good conversation. The chat, they're a little wild over there. I don't know if he got the afternoon experience and the date pod or some shit. They be talking about all type of stuff, and y'all do too. I know. I check it out sometime. I'll be listening to y'all. I ain't gonna mention no names. But I see y'all trying to get people to fix your cookies and shit like that all in my chat. This is not Pat Sajak date podcast, whatever the hell. Date time. Hook up channel. This ain't that. Stop playing. I don't want to be responsible for some of y'all having some kids with each other. You hear me? I don't want them I ain't nobody's god daddy or none of that shit. Don't bring it over here. We ain't going with that. If I find out that we had some family members up in here getting together and having some real families together, don't put me in it. Because when the shit don't work out, I don't want you to blame me. I ain't co-signing nobody in here either. Don't be calling me asking for somebody's phone number and all that old shit. Y'all tried that early in my career. And I said, no, I ain't getting in it. If you want her number or if you want his number, y'all gonna have to reach out somewhere else. DM the mug or something. Don't pull me in it, and I ain't stamping nobody because I don't really know you like that. Just my luck. She'll be like, well, I like him. What you think, Wyatt? And I'll be like, I don't know. And that, to some people, that's just enough they need to move forward and get that guy a try. He be Frankenstein. One guy on the podcast, and then when you get him a home, y'all get in person, he'd be a whole nother person, and y'all just don't shit. I don't want to be responsible for that. All right, I want to get right to it. I gave some people a little bit more time to get here. What time is it? Yeah, we're good. We're good on time. Most people get in right around this time. This is the crowd we're going to have, and probably this is the crowd we're going to stick with. Let's get right into the topic. Cutting no corners, bullshitting all aside, there was something going on in the city of Cincinnati at 3 o'clock. There was a press conference or a gathering of city council, the city of Cincinnati, and it basically was to set the tone. It was to set an apology tone to Black Cincinnati. And I just need to know from my family, from the audience here, how did you feel about it? I mean, I heard what they said. Okay, I don't think it was really an apology. I will accept that it was an apology. But I think it was more of an information piece for most people. There's a lot of people that probably didn't know. I'm one of them. I don't know everything. I've never tried to pretend to know everything. But the way I interpreted this could be totally wrong. My lenses may be different than yours. Yours may be different than mine. But I got information from Councilman Scotty and the crew and the the contractors, the people that he is, I don't know if they paid these folks to come in and do this. I can't imagine them doing it for free, but I could be wrong. Maybe they're just kind-hearted. The two individual ladies that did the research, both of them are doctors. And I don't know what their primary study is, but they're doctors. And one of them for sure is from the University of Cincinnati. I even have a clip of her talking. And the reason why I took a few clips is because I don't want to put a spin on this at all. I want it to be genuine. I want it to be truthful, genuine, and all of that. But I took a few notes and I took a little bit of the information that was given to us in their studies. And we're talking 25,000 people in the city of Cincinnati that has something to do with displacement or something of that nature. And I'm a little confused because what they led me to believe, if you're Wyatt and you're sitting there watching the press conference, what I was led to believe, I never knew that existed. I never knew there were so many businesses in the downtown district that were Black. I never knew 80 churches. I never knew that there was 25,000 Black folks in downtown Cincinnati, and there was displacement of like 9,000 of them all at one time. I mean, these numbers were astronomical to me. Now, let me be honest and tell you, this is before my time. Now, I'm a downtown kid. Y'all know I'm from downtown, and if some money get the kid cutting the check, I got at least 4,000 witnesses knowing that, what's my address? 1335 John Street, baby. Cut the check. Y'all know I'm from down the way. But according to Scotty, this ain't about economics. Now, this is where the shit get a little muddy for me. This is where it get a little muddy for me, because I don't understand the whole point of this if it's not about the economics. You can't convince me that we ain't starting some ball. I ain't never seen somebody cleaning their bowling ball and ain't got no plans of going bowling real soon. I ain't never seen no shit like that. You just waxing your ball and your bowling ball and getting your shoes and shit ready. I'm going to put them up here, and next month when I get ready to go, my shit is clean. Yeah, okay. Most people shine their bowling ball because they ready to go to the alleys. Most people getting shit like this together because it is truly about economics. I don't like the fact that denial of economics is not the driven factor here. I got a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with Scotty. I just don't like that curve. Almost like a gentleman asked him a question, and he got a little offended because he made it seem like, okay, look, you're a representative, Scotty. You're not speaking for Scotty, but you made it personal. And I like this brother. I really do. He made it personal when this question was asked. And he shouldn't have really made it personal because you're not speaking for Scotty. You're speaking for the city of Cincinnati. The apology was coming from Cincinnati, not Scotty, right? Or am I confused? Am I confused? Because the city of Cincinnati should not have been offended by a question of economics. Is this economic driven? But if you're Scotty and that question comes to you, what's the point of being offended? Nobody, what's the point? Maybe I'm just not in his skin and I don't get it. And I'm not trying to add a negative note to it. I just think that he should have stood up there. And this is just me. This is my opinion. He should have said, you're damn right. This is economic. This is about economic. You're damn right. Because based on our reports and based on everything that we have here, the reason why we're here is because of the devastation that was caused in all of this, based on their information. So if it's all about, okay, what was the point of them doing all that to those folks, to our brothers and our sisters, our grandmothers and grandfathers, our uncles and cousins? What was the point? Economics. So when you dilute the conversation down to this is just coming from the heart, okay, is it just coming from Cincinnati's heart or is it coming from your heart, bro? Because you're speaking for the city, not Scotty. And I'm telling you, bro, I really genuinely believe him. I mean, I really do believe that, he wants to see something happen, but I got a little confused when it came to that. I really did. And whenever, look, I don't think anybody's confused about how I feel about shit. I'm pretty a square dude. I usually stick to my square, right? I'm pretty on my square. If you know all of the shit that I think that we talk about here, you know where I stand. You know where I stand in the beginning, the middle, and the end. There's no questioning where I'm at on issues. If I have to question where you are on an issue, then it's probably not as authentic or as genuine as it needs to be. That's just my opinion. Now, I got a few video clips of the actual press conference. And the reason why I took these selected little pieces is because these are the parts that gave me the most conversation piece. It made me want to know more. And I need to know more. I need to know more of the research. I need to know more of these businesses that were in downtown. I need to know how they got these numbers. Now, do I believe there was 25,000 residents? Yeah. I believe there was 25,000 black folks in the city of Cincinnati. But what I got out of it was when they did their disbursement of people, when they split the downtown up, that's what created our other neighborhoods that we talk about and that we have now. Like Avondale. Some of the people that were there, they said that they were part of. Now, I know I shouldn't say this on the air because there's a lot of people watching. Well, it's enough people watching. And some people pretending not to watch, but they listening. But I could have got up there and lined myself up for some money. I could have been like, and them motherfuckers had my mama, grandmama walking all the way up to Kroger's with the little raggedy cart and shit. We ain't supposed to do all that. They didn't have no bus route. And we even had to take that same cart with two wheels. It was a little rusty. We had to take that cart and go all the way over to where Mama Birch and them lived to the laundromat and shit. And sometimes we didn't have enough quarters. Sometimes the quarter gets stuck in the machine and we didn't have no way to get the money back. Oh, that fucked up our budget. I could have went up there and been like, shit was fucked up. You had one dude up there, I know they was trying to get him off the stage because they was like, all right, thank you, brother. You know the guy in the church, the deacon that just talked too damn much. He don't know how to cut it off. You know what I'm talking about. Deacon Earl just don't know how to shut up. He holding the church down. They told him before he got the microphone, you got 3 minutes, Deacon Earl. You got 3 minutes, bro. You got 3 minutes to tell us how good the Lord is, bro. Don't get to talking about your little nephews and cousins and shit. Well, they had a Deacon Earl up there who was talking about, and they moved us, and I went to 5 different schools. So who the fuck didn't? Who didn't? You know how many schools I've been to, bro, in my life? You know how many schools I went to as a kid? You know, I had to make new friends every year. I'm just saying. But this was the thing. They had a gentleman up there that said, well, my mama, they gave us 30 days to leave. I need more content that they just gave you a 30-day notice. And I do believe that metropolitan housing or government subsidy housing had a lot to do with this. But I don't have I don't have all the information I need. I'm not one of those that believe shit that come out of politicians' office a lot. Y'all ever seen the polls on TV? The political polls? 76% of the people. Now, let me give you more of a realistic one. 46% of Democrats don't believe Joe Biden's doing a good job. Okay, stop, freeze, drop, roll, do all that shit. Tornado warning. Let me ask y'all a question. I know I got a few Democrats here and y'all tolerate me. That's okay. But now let me ask you a question, Democrats. I'll ask the Republicans the same thing. Democrats, let me ask you a question. I'm just using this as an example. 46% of Democrats don't agree how Joe Biden is doing things. They don't think whatever, they don't whatever. Let me ask you, as a Democrat, has anybody from the government or any pollsters talked to you? Has anybody called you and say, hey, how you think Joe Biden doing? Hell no, ain't nobody called you. You know you part of that 76 or that 46%. How did they get that number? They ain't asked you nothing. So I always had this funny thing about polls and the percentile that they use to come up with their poll number. I'm not a big poll guy. Poster and all those pre-poll voting numbers, I'm not a big poll guy because they always turn out to be wrong. So when I see numbers like 9,000, I am going to let you see some of these videos. I'm trying to read the comments as I go. We don't care, Shauna. We don't care. She said, hello, on my way to Key West. So, I'm just playing. She said, listening. Thank you, sis. I appreciate it. I hope you and your family are having a great time. You guys look like you're having a great time. I ain't gonna do it. I was gonna say, how's the weather, but I don't even care. I don't care. Enjoy yourself, sis. Nothing but love. Yeah, I don't get those polls because everybody don't get a sensor in their mailbox every day or every other day. But the news, no matter what platform you look at, they always got the latest poll. And ain't nobody getting that many damn sensors in their mailbox to be answering all those polls. So I don't believe them. So now let me get to this apology. This apology said a lot of things. I don't want to discredit it. I don't want to say anything negative about it. Matter of fact, if everything that they say is accurate, which I don't have any reason to doubt at this point, but if everything they said was accurate, this wasn't an apology. This was an acknowledgement. And that's what it should have been. That's what it should have been. That's the way it should have been titled to me. This was an acknowledgement. This was an acknowledgement that we actually know that this happened in the city of Cincinnati. I believe this was in the 50s, way before my time. Shit. They said some shit like 200. I don't know if y'all gonna hear it. Y'all gonna hear it. But it was like 200 businesses or 600 businesses. These numbers are like big numbers. So when you hear all these numbers, it's easy for me to get confused. What's 200 and what's 600? But when you tell me 200 businesses were shut down and displaced, or 600 businesses were shut down and misplaced or displaced, I only got one thing to say about that. Like I said on Emmanuel's show, I called in and I'm like, bro, from what I got out of this, Cincinnati had a Black community that was thriving, and these numbers that they talking about, 80 churches and shit like that. What? We had Vince Martin. We had Vince Martin, the Fish Bar, Big Louie's and shit like that. Where the other 194 businesses at? I'm just being honest. We had GJ's. I can name them on two hands of the Black businesses that we had in Laura Holmes or right around downtown when I was around. I was born, literally born in Laura Holmes. I remember Harry's, that type. No. Black Fox, Ben's and all that. I get that. That's in town. We talking about they're talking about downtown Cincinnati, Queensgate, and all that type of shit. So you telling me, now I do know a secret about Queensgate that a lot of people don't know. And it is what they call y'all don't know this, but it's a red light district, which means it has different liquor license situations and it's a prime area, but they haven't done it. It could actually be a New Orleans or a Bourbon Street or something down. It could be a New Orleans Bourbon Street down there because the liquor license and the coordinates, unless they change it in the last 10 years, That could be an amazing, vibrant business district. Now I'm starting to believe, was that ours? Was that black folks at one time? I really want to do the research. I really want to know, because it's a red light district. It's zoning for red light district. I don't know if City of Cincinnati has changed that, but I remember. I don't even know if this city council knows that. They probably do, but it's something that's never been talked about, at least in the last 10, 15 years that I've been around. But anyway, when you're talking about 200-300 businesses being displaced and kicked out because they were building a bridge and this and this and then that, I had the impression, listening to this press conference, that Cincinnati was a highly driven economic black. It had its black. I just got to say it. It sounded like we had a black Wall Street. Now, that's the first time I've ever connected some dots to say that about Cincinnati, other than the fact of me, asking people, hey, why don't we do this to create a black Wall Street style situation? I've never heard that Cincinnati actually was one. If you heard that, let me know. If you heard of that, let me know. Because what I got out of this press conference today was all those businesses, not just people, all those businesses, 80 churches. Let me play a little bit of the clip for those that may have missed it. Let me play it for you. And then you tell me what you're getting out of it. I got 3 clips. I broke it down in like minute clips at a time because I just wanted to share some of this stuff and see if we on the same page. Check it out.
You see this motherfucker.
That ain't it. My bad. Hold on. Let me just see here. Let me pull up the video. Y'all know I'm a one-man show. Stop playing. I ain't like Emmanuel. Emmanuel talking about he got staff coming and all that old shit. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't paying nobody to do what I can do. E-Man got everything on deck, don't he? I hope he watching. I'm putting him on blast. You know them shirts gonna be ready any day now. He been saying that shit for a year and a half. He's still working on the moped. I'm gonna call him out on that shit. I'm gonna call him out on all of it. I hope he come in here and try to get at me. Check it out. Check this video out.
Mr. Harris, please come on up. Let me say good afternoon and welcome to City Hall on this historical day in the city of Cincinnati. I am joined by the 70th Mayor of the City of Cincinnati, Abtab Pureball, the Vice Mayor, Jan Michelle Lemon-Kearney, Council Members Owens, Jeffries, Walsh, and Harris. Thank you all for being here. I'm also joined by the President of the African American Chamber of Commerce, Eric Kearney, President of the West End Community Council, Chris Griffin, Mr. J.C. Battle of Battle Funeral Home, Representative of the NAACP, David Whitehead, and Representative of the Urban League, Ebony Young. A regretful acknowledgement of an offense or failure. That's the definition of an apology. An apology is the first step in the process of reaching reconciliation. It is always the right time to do the right thing. When legislators legislate with disrespect, lack of consideration, lack of care, and lack of compassion, you see the direct results of what we're here talking about today. This type of impact affects generations, and it is something that we are committed to here in the city of Cincinnati with this present council, with this present mayor, with this present administration, to work hard to make sure that we absolutely never do anything close to the disgusting devastation that took place with the 1948 master plan.
Okay, that was the opening. Hold on one second. I'm writing that down because I didn't know the year. This was actually 1948, and he's calling it the 1948 master plan. So I'm going to put my notes, and I'm going to title it 1948 master plan, because I am definitely going to show you how I Justin Sharp, stop, bro. Don't do it. I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to educate my folks. Stop, Jay. Don't do that. We're having a serious moment. I'm going to title this the 1948 master plan. I'm going to hijack their title. That's what they said they called it. Yeah, 48, Roz. Not 53. So we're talking, this is why I didn't know. Look, this is probably the first time I know where my sister, where all my sisters at that be talking shit about me, who be like, Wyatt think he know everything. I just said something on Wyatt Live. This is some shit I didn't know about. 1948? Nah, I didn't know it. That's why I'm inquisitive. I want to know if these numbers that what they're talking about that happened in 1948. Okay, there she go. Tracy Dillingham. Did you hear me, sis? Now I'm blocking you from a phone call because I don't want you clowning me in my serious moment here. I'm trying to educate. I don't know what the hell happened in 1948. I'm just going to be honest. So I can't speak on this. But what I can speak on is what they said of 1948. And based on the numbers, we had a Black Wall Street in the city of Cincinnati. In 1948, Avondale and all that didn't exist, right? Because it sounds like what happened based on one of the gentlemen that was there who said he was a little boy. He said, and they, I don't know his name. I really don't remember. I should have took the video clip, but he, they was nudging him like, hey, your time is up. But he was about to tell him from Pampers all the way up. I think he said he was 87 years old. So you know how them 87-year-old stories can be. So dude was like, listen, my mom and them got a 30-day notice to move out. And he asked the mother, like, where we gonna go? And the mother told him, I don't know. I want to know if it was that severe. I want to know if they displaced people, not the same way they said they displaced people when the FCC stadium came in. Because, black folks, we lost our mind when that happened. Y'all called that displacement as well. People got checks for that shit. Most people went to a much cleaner, updated home and churches got some money. People that was not displacement. And I told y'all that, but some people wanted to call me names and wanted to act like I was all on the city and I was capping for the city and taking up. No, I know what displacement is. And that was not displacement. But this man said that they got a 30 now. I don't know how old you were. You say you 87 now, but you saying if you do the math, y'all can figure out how old he was. But he's saying his mom and them got a 30-day notice. Scott Bain, I need you to put something in the screen. Scott said they still displacing people. In 2023, explain, I need you to tell me how they displacing people. I'm not suggesting that they not. I need to know how they're doing it these days. Because And I could be lost in the sauce. I could be lost. I just need to know how you displace somebody in 2023 without giving them some type of stipend or a payment or giving them an upgrade of an apartment just out of somewhere that they don't own or whatever. I'm just asking. I'm not suggesting that it doesn't happen. I just need to know what's the 2023 displacement. But anyway, let me get back to this gentleman so I can roll clip number 2. Basically, he was saying that they were given 30 days according to his testimony. And he asked his mother, well, where are we going to go? And his mother said, I don't know. I don't know. So I need to know if these stories are true. Now, the next clip I'm going to play you, it's going to be one of their spokespeople, one of the people that did the research. I don't remember her name, but you'll get her name in the clip. It's Dr. something. Very articulate lady. Both of the women that came in, very articulate ladies, and had their shit together. And I know they're researchers because they introduced them as being the people that did the research for this study. But I just want to know, has anybody ever heard? Has anybody, grandmother, mother, or anybody, has anybody ever been told about how Cincinnati was in 1948? That it was a vibrant city for Black people? Because the description that I kind of got there in that little conversation, is this a reach or am I? It sounded like a Black Wall Street when you had hundreds of businesses. I can't remember downtown Cincinnati in the Queens Gate or in the and I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember 80 churches. I don't know if Cincinnati might have 80 churches spread out. But I don't know of this many churches and this many businesses ever being vibrant in the city of Cincinnati that are Black. I'm not suggesting that it didn't happen. I just need to know, has anybody ever had this conversation with an old family member and they was like, yeah, girl, we own this, we had that, we own this, we had 200-300 businesses down here, and they wiped them all out. Linda Matthews says, me, I'd love to hear that. Give me some of the names of the businesses. Let me research them. I'd love to hear them because they had a couple people that had funeral homes. One of the brothers that had a funeral home. Now, here's the thing. We talk about displacement. The brother said they had a funeral home and they were forced to move. But by the grace of God, they were able to find another spot and they kept on doing their business. And they passed their business down generation to generation. See, I think that would have been my attitude. Oh, we're going to find a way. We're going to keep going. Daddy, granddaddy, and them put us in spot to be able to do this. Yeah, we're going to keep it going. I'm not suggesting everybody had the same resources as that company, but that would have been my take. My grandmother must have missed telling me a whole lot. Now, y'all know I get on here and I brag about my grandmother telling me everything. But my grandmother was in Laura Holmes in the 60s. Not that far off from 40. It's kind of hard from, it's 20 years from 48. My grandmother had them. I wasn't born in the 60s, but she was there in the 60s. She was downtown Cincinnati living in them areas in the 60s, probably before then. She never told me anything about what I heard today. And what I got out of a couple people who were saying some stuff was we were displaced. We were sent out to Avondale. Is that how Avondale became Avondale, the Black Avondale? Because when that transformation happened? And that's how they created Avondale? Because from my understanding, Avondale was a heavily Jewish community in the city of Cincinnati back in those days in the 60s. That's what I always thought. Shit. Tracy Dillingham sound crazy as hell. She said, I was born in 67. Shit, okay. Hey, okay. I look damn good then. I can tell you that now. Ross says it was German. Justin Sharp says you can't be displaced if your shit is together. Definitely not in 2023. I see a few other comments. I'm not laughing because I'm making light of this. I'm just reading some comments there. So I heard a story, and it gave me something to think about. It gave me something that actually gave. I'm inquisitive, so it gave me something to work on. It gave me something to look at. And one of the things that I found interesting in the presentation is how they said that former mayors were reaching out and asking about the fake promises, the false promises that were made to our community, and there was no one ever returned the conversation. Let me see if I can play this other clip for us real fast, because there's a lot of people that actually didn't see the press conference, and I think this might be interesting for you. Let me see something. Let me see. I'm still trying to get over this thing with with the city councilman Scotty when he got a little red at a question. I don't know if I said anything about it here, but I spoke about it on Emmanuel Livingston's show. I said I didn't understand why the brother got upset when somebody asked him a question about if this is economic driven. I don't understand why he got upset. And y'all heard my response to that. I was like, why would you take a question like that personal? Bro, you're not speaking for yourself. You're a representative of Cincinnati. I think it's a fair question to ask Cincinnati. They're not asking you, Scotty. They're asking Cincinnati. And for him to be like, oh, this shit ain't about me. Y'all know it was like the basketball court type shit. This shit ain't about me and shit. I'm all this about you asking me some shit about. Y'all know he ain't say all like, that's just how I got to react. That's how I take it. Yeah, I get this from the heart. When a motherfucker get that defensive, you already know. He looked like a motherfucker mad because somebody accused him cheating in a crap game. Nigga, let me check them dice. Oh, that motherfucker, these my dice. I ain't even motherfucking about my dice. Nigga, no, I got them motherfucking dice. I play with my dice. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know you ever checked a motherfucker for cheating in spades? Now I'm getting in my hand. I didn't renege. Stop. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When a motherfucker get too defensive, it comes from the heart. All right, bro. Fine. I'm sure it did. I'm sorry I made you mad. I just, y'all got to understand, I'm only emotional when I'm on this show. Anybody that knows me know when we sitting around, unless we talking, like if you're a friend of mine and we cool, that's the only person that really gets Wyatt. That's the only person that really gets to talk to me. And I really act like I'm acting now. Everybody else, I am totally reserved. I don't talk a lot to people. I just listen. But if you're a friend of mine, you get all of me. And we powwow, talk, and I will lead the conversation, damn it. But when I'm around just average people, the regular average people, and I'm just kicking it and all that, I'm very conservative. I'm reserved. I'm laid back. I don't say much. And when I see people around getting all defensive and shit, that's when I be like, oh, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, all right. You want to make it very crystal clear that it ain't what I'm thinking about you. That's all. I'll leave that alone. Y'all can figure the shit out for yourself. I'm going to play this second clip because I can't wait to read some of these comments. I just want to know who accepted the apology. Did you get a I'm sorry out of that, or did you get a what the fuck? Are you angry? Because, this was an emotional play. And this was we starting the ball now. Well, how long this ball gonna roll? How many years we got to keep voting y'all in until we get to the final frontier of this shit? You know what I'm saying? Space, the final frontier. Is that 5 more elections by the time y'all finish this shit? You know what I'm saying? You want me to keep you there for 5 more elections just to make sure we get to the final frontier? I'm just asking. If it's not about economics, what is it about? You just saying sorry to who for what? For what? Let me just say this before I play the track. The whole purpose of this was to expose the financial devastation, the economic trauma. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose. It was to be able to explain to people how, and I hate when people say wealth because there's no guarantee in wealth. You can't buy, I hate when real estate people say, hey, this is the beginning of your wealth. They want to sell your house. Now, this is the beginning of you being self-sufficient. It's not wealth. All right. So when you play on words and you use big words that don't fit the meaning and shit like that, it's troublesome to me. When you say things like it interrupted the wealth, generational wealth. I don't know anybody that became generational wealthy from buying a house. I don't know that. Now, I do know that you can become generational wealthy by business. So maybe that's where he was going. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it sounds to me that there were more residents involved in this situation than it was businesses, obviously. The businesses, I think, is a portion of what was affected and is a very important part of the affection. It's a very big part of it because it's true. If there was Wyatt and Wyatt Funeral Home and somebody took it away from us, it's generationally gone now. I can't pass it down. My great-grandfather and all them couldn't pass shit down. I just want to know if my great-granny and them had a pool hall or some shit. They probably beat my great-great-great-great-grandmama and them out their crap house. I'm sure they had the way I grew up. I know somebody in my family had an after hour joint. I know somebody had a whole house. They had to. You don't gamble as young as I was with your grandmama, my great granny, and my grandmother, and my aunt's great aunt. They ain't gonna have no 6-year-olds sitting at there gambling at no damn table unless that type of behavior was taught to them from somewhere. So I want my reparations for my mama and them crap house. Damn it. I know they had one. Promise you they did. But in this clip here, it's one of the information pieces that I wanted to share with y'all. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this lady here did some research. Basically, what they're saying is their research led them to give us this information. Let me let y'all watch her. I was reading a few of the comments. I want y'all to see this. This is one of the presenters. This is one of the presenters of the information. And, I think this is an acknowledgement. It's not an apology. I'm sorry. And I'm glad that they gave us the information, but I want to frame it the right way. Check it out.
As long as I'm sitting here, we will not duck and run from any difficult, tough situation. That's the only way we start healing, is to deal with the difficult, tough decisions. So I don't know which one of these young ladies want to go first, but the amazing work that they have done over the years helps to bridge that gap and helps to heal communities all over the country and the world. It looks like Dr. Steiner is first. Dr. Ann Steiner. Thank you.
I'm Ann Delano Steiner, Assistant Professor of History at the University of Cincinnati, and I was curator of the Finding Kenyon Bar exhibition from 2017 to 2020. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the story. In 1950, the lower part of the West End, below today's Ezra Charles Drive, was home to about 25,000 Cincinnatians, 97% of whom were African American. But by 1970, that same neighborhood, then called Queensgate, had fewer than 200 residents. In 1950, those 25,000 black Cincinnatians lived in 19th century.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She said by 1970 there was I know there was more than 200 of us. I know better than that. 200? Wait a minute. I lived in Law Homes. I know it was more than, in the 70s, I know it was more than 200 people. Now, let me listen. I got to pay attention to this. I know it was more than 200 people in Law Homes alone in the 70s. Did I hear that right? Hold on.
A little bit about the story. In 1950, the lower part of the West End, below today's Ezra Charles Drive, was home to about 25,000 Cincinnatians, 97% of whom were African American. But by 1970, that same neighborhood, then called Queensgate, had fewer than 200 residents. In 1950, those 25,000 black Cincinnatians lived in 19th century brick buildings, just like the ones we still see in Over the Rhine today. There were stores and churches, schools and homes. It was not a wealthy neighborhood. In fact, it was among Cincinnati's poorest, but it had rich networks of connection, and it was home. Based on recommendations in the Cincinnati Planning Commission's 1948 Metropolitan Master Plan, federal urban renewal monies were used to fund the Kenyon Bar Urban Renewal Project, which, coupled with the construction of I-75, called for the demolition of the lower half of the West End for the creation of a center for light industry. The neighborhood was labeled a slum by the city's urban renewal department, but pre-demolition photos tell a different story. In the images, we see a vital and vibrant black neighborhood full of children and families, businesses and religious centers, all of which were to be displaced. In 1956, the city promised that it would rehouse every displaced person in modern sanitary dwellings. But by 1959, it was clear that that promise would not be kept. City leaders, including former Vice Mayor Ted Berry, tried to speak up, but their cautions went unheeded, and demolition progressed without adequate resources to rehouse the displaced. The Kenyon Bar Urban Renewal Project demolished more than 9,000 dwellings, 80 churches, 10 schools, 6 funeral homes, 700 other buildings, but their cautions went unheeded, and demolition progressed without adequate resources to rehouse the displaced. The Kenyon Bar Urban Renewal Project demolished more than 9,000 dwellings, 80 churches, 10 schools, 6 funeral homes, 700 other businesses.
Sorry, guys, I'm writing this down. All right, y'all gonna have to bear with me, okay? I'm sorry. I know I'm on the show and it's live. But if you don't just bear with me for a second, because I gotta have dialogue on these numbers that she's talking. I have to have she said 900 or 9,000 what? 9,000 people?
Demolished more than 9,000 dwellings.
Dwellings. 9,000 dwellings. Those are homes. Those are apartments or houses. We all know that. I thought I'd just share that. Okay, hold on.
80 churches.
80 churches? Oh my God. Wait a minute. Downtown? The fuck? Hallelujah. So 9,000 dwellings, 80 churches. Hold on, ma'am. I just want to do the numbers.
The Kenyon Bar Urban Renewal Project demolished more than 9,000 dwellings, 80 churches, 10 schools, 6 funeral homes, 700 other businesses, and 17 miles of streets and sidewalks. The neighborhood became unrecognizable and disorienting to those who would live there for their entire lives. The racist systems that had trapped much of Black Cincinnati in poverty and segregated them into a single crowded neighborhood were the same racist systems that left them powerless to fight their displacement and the demolition of their homes, or to hold the city to its promise of new and better housing. Today, the city's recognition of the harm it caused in demolishing the Lower West End is an historic step toward truth-telling and racial reconciliation, but it is just the beginning of acknowledging the trauma urban renewal has caused to Black Cincinnati's citizens and the resilience with which they have survived it. I'm grateful to have been part of this first step, and I look forward to supporting future efforts to preserve and protect Cincinnati's African American history and culture through great projects like the Robert O'Neill Multicultural Arts Center in the West End's Regal Theater, or by helping the Urban Conservator protect landmarks of African American history. I'm grateful to the leadership of Mayor Purval, Councilmember Johnson, and to Dr. Wendy Ellis for bringing this incredibly historic event to reality. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to say something that's probably going to sound unprofessional of me, but so what? This is Wyatt Live, and I'm just not a professional. You know what I don't like about certain situations? And it's just, maybe it's me. I don't like people who speak from scripts. Maybe because of how I study, or maybe how I take in information. Maybe that's why I get a little long-winded and the script will keep you on pace. But quite frankly, I don't like when people read shit. I don't like when they read the message that they're trying to deliver to you. That could just be a problem that I have. It might be a pet peeve of mine, but I don't like rehearsed situations. I don't like it. Maybe because I don't do it. I don't know. But I don't like it when people have to, like, for instance, y'all seen me taking these notes. I took the notes and had to go back. Now I ain't got no note of the show. I got notes of the numbers. I can't remember. So if that's what she had, okay, we had 9,000 dwellings that were put out of place. We had 80 churches, 10 schools, 6 funeral homes, 700 buildings, and took 17 square miles. That I could understand. Okay, you don't know all that off the top of your head. I get it. But now I've looked at it for maybe 2-3 minutes now. I got it. I can tell you exactly how many all that is. I got it in my mind. I don't need a script. I just get this thing. I don't like when presidents do it. I don't like when you when somebody write down an apology and go on the news and apologize for their actions, and they put it, you could tell they ain't wrote it. How you sorry for something that you didn't even do? Or I'm talking about not necessarily today's apology. I'm talking about in general. When people come with a script, let me get my script. Let me tell you, I want to tell everybody today how sorry I am. Is that a P or a R? Okay. For what I did. Shit like that. I just can't. I can't. Let me see. What did I do? Let me just write. Oh, yeah, for driving drunk. I just can't. I just can't. I can't. I can't take apologies written down. I don't like when football players do it. Sorry, wait a minute. I stayed out late last night. I apologize to all the fans. I apologize to all the fans. Section 6. You know, your president did that shit one day. Y'all remember when he read the damn script? And he read everything on the card? Y'all remember that? And he was like, yeah, we got this war going on in Afghanistan. We did this and blah, blah, blah. And we released the prisoners and Brittany Griner, and she's smiling and everything. Repeat the line. He read everything. He read the whole damn card and the instructions on the card. He said, and Brittany Griner got home nice and we can be one big nation and be successful with one another. And he's reading and he says, now repeat the line. And he repeat the line, the instruction. He even read all the way down in the corner. This paper made in China. I'm just kidding on that. That wasn't funny. But I'm just saying, I have a problem with apologies or when people have to read me information that's very short and they've done the study. That ain't had nothing to do with this particular situation. I'm gonna be honest, because that lady probably has a lot of other stuff going on in her life and she can't remember 9,000 dwellings. She can't remember 80 churches, 10 schools. You know, she probably can't remember that. 6 funeral homes, 700, 700 businesses. So wait a minute. Let the 9,000 dwellings. I get that. Wait a minute. I got to go back a little further than that. Didn't she say, I wrote this down. She said 25,000 people in 1950 in that area. 25,000 people in that area in the 50s. 97% of them were black. That's what she said. That's what she said. That's the study. She said by 1970s, they were down to 200. Man, we had 200 motherfuckers at the basketball court. I got next. Y'all know I ain't lying. Playing Foursquare and Tetherball. Yeah, our little court was jumping. We had the Tetherball with the milk carton with the rocks and shit in it. That's why LaDonna Howard, that's why she used to come downtown and play with us. She really from Bond Hill, but she would come downtown because we had all the good ass games. We was playing Tetherball with a basketball over there. It was flat as hell. Not Tetherball, but Foursquare. Remember that? We played Foursquare. It was a line to play. You only play 4 at a time. We had the Tetherball over there. We had the Foursquare over there, all at the basketball court. And then you had the wall over there where we was pitching pennies. Oh, and you can't not play Dodge Rock. I know y'all played Dodge Rock. Some of y'all did. Some of y'all wasn't quite as hood as we were. Where the man stand up against the wall, people throwing acorns or whatever they can get, throwing and you dodging, and it's hitting the wall. Yeah, we played Dodge Rock. It got real out there. Dodge Rock. We pick up acorns or whatever we can find on the ground, anything but glass. But you couldn't be the one that say, we ain't playing glass. You can't throw glass at me. Because if you was the one saying that, you was the punk. All right, let me get back to the thing. So let's go over the numbers. It only take a second. Then I got one final clip for you. And it's the one that I'm eager to show you. But let's go over the numbers. By 1950, there was 25,000 people down there. By 1970, in the 70s, she said it was 200. I think she said, like Justin said, she said less than 200. She said it was less than 200. Now, she's probably talking. I don't want to misrepresent. I was just having fun. I don't want to misrepresent. She said Queensgate. Now, I don't ever remember being alive and ever seeing anybody live at Queensgate. So I'm not going to say Law Homes or Lincoln Courts. I'm not going to have fun with you like that. I got to be for real and be serious so they won't be mad at me whenever somebody say that dude on this podcast be talking shit. And Scotty and all of them will dislike me. And they'll say that I gave out misinformation and all that old shit as if the radio tell everything like they tell the truth and shit. We all know that that's bullshit. That's more entertaining than this is. But of course, they would be more mad at me than they would the radio. But now let's go over the numbers. Let's try to keep it 100. Let's try to be real and let's try to be serious about this, okay? 25,000 in 1950, 97% of them were black. Of us were black. By the 1970s, which is 20 years later, we were down to 200 or less people in Queensgate. That's what she said. By 1956, the promise of housing was in 1956, the promise was of housing was made to these people that they probably relocated. By 1959, 3 years later, the promise was not kept. So what I'm asking is, did they move the people in the 50s somewhere saying that they were going to get them better housing, and then they ended up keeping them there, making them stay where they were, and they reneged on the new units or the new property? I don't know how relevant that is. I don't know how detrimental or terrifying that necessarily was. That's like this. Remember when they tore Laura Holmes down? When they tore Laura Holmes down, they promised motherfuckers different locations, right? They split everybody up. I think they did English Woods the same way. They probably promised them something when they went into their interview and said, hey, you got to move, but we're going to send you to another unit. But that unit is going to be temporary. We'll have other units being built over in such and such place, and we'll transfer all of y'all over to that. And it probably didn't happen. Do I think they shut downtown Queensgate down? Let's be honest. Y'all tell me, do you think they shut Queensgate down? Do you think Metropolitan Housing and the government shut Queensgate down and left everybody homeless? Do you think that's what it was? Do you think they just told everybody they had 30 days and they were on their own? I don't quite honestly, I don't think that's how it went. I quite honestly think that there was a lot of promises made, but they didn't make good on the promises. I think what they did is they probably overcommitted, or they lied to them on purpose just to get them to get out and go somewhere else. But were this 97% of the 27,000 that were black, were these 25,000 homeowners? Or was these 25,000 people, close to the 25,000, were these all metropolitan housing individuals? Or I just don't see where 25,000 houses were even downtown. I don't see it. They're going to have to help me with this. You're going to have to map this shit out for me. I know what he said, Mama Birch, and let me read Mama Birch's comment. That was the deacon. He wasn't a deacon, but that was the one who had the deacon flow. They had to get the mic. She said the old man said he had a U-Haul truck all up down his street. Some people was put out in the street if they weren't out. I also know how it is to say some things to know that you can align yourself up with some money. I'm going to need to go court records. Trust me, I'm going deep. I am going to go deep because I want to see the court records. You can't just put people out without an eviction. Now, did my people back in those days answer evictions? Maybe not. In other words, did you have a lawyer? Probably not. Did you have a lawyer answer an eviction? Did you contest an eviction? And if so, what was in that answer? I need 30 more days to move out to the assigned unit. I need to know where these units were. I need to know if these, now here's the most important thing that we need to know. An eviction is totally different than a foreclosure. Totally different. Court records will show totally different situations. So my question would be, where did you get evicted from? From a metropolitan dwelling or from a foreclosure on your property, intimate domain or any of that, intimate domain, whatever. I need to see court records of all those properties down there and how these people were removed. Because there will have to be a court order. Court orders are on file. So Stephen Speed, what up, brother? He said them buildings was brick. I know she described them, but I need to know where these 25,000 people were living in what was it? Queensgate. How were they housed? I think this is an important situation to know because it'll tell you just how much trauma they went through or what they actually lost. Because keep in mind, our mentality could be a little bit different because the mentality, I heard Scotty say it today. in the press conference. He said, what happened back then is nothing. You can't compare that to what they're saying about the FC Cincinnati. That was not a displacement compared to what happened in the 50s. I'm going to trust what he said is right, because he's absolutely right as far as what happened in 2022 with FC Cincinnati, or 2020, 2021. Those folks were not displaced. They had options. Nobody told them from Metropolitan Housing, or if they were on Section 8, no one confiscated their Section 8 certificate. They just told them they had to move. You got to understand, regardless if we accept it or want to understand it or not, when you are a renter, you have absolutely no rights of what these property owners do with their property. If they decide to sell it to the government, then you are now under the rule of whoever the landlord is. If they say they want the rent to go up, they can make the rent go up. If they tell you it's time for you to go because your lease is up and we're going to honor the lease prior, they can do that. They don't have to rewrite you a lease. All of this stuff that we need to know, that's not considered to be displacement. But I want to know who had a certificate, a Section 8 certificate. No, Black Fox, I'm not saying that it's not bad to have to move. I'm just trying to make you understand that we need. Black Fox, what I'm saying to you, sister, without trying to make it seem like I'm uncompassionate, is that when you are renting, you do have to keep in the back of your mind that when this lease is up, they may not rewrite my lease. You know, you got to get out of this mind frame that you have. There's differences between rights and privileges. Everything that you can afford or everything that you can get is not necessarily your right. There are privileges in life. And all I'm saying to you is, to be honest, man, let me give you a perfect example. If I have a choice to say, okay, I'm going to Metropolitan Housing and fill out an application, and they say, okay, you can either go to Winton Terrace or you can get on the waiting list for a Section 8 certificate. And I say, okay, well, do I qualify for the Section 8 certificate? That's a privilege. It's a privilege because I can maybe go get a house, a 2-family or a single family home, and use that certificate for that. I don't have much choices when I'm, set up to go to Winton Terrace. So I feel like the system provided me a privilege of being able to select home. I can go out and find something that will accept my certificate. So no, I really don't believe that you're entitled to stay somewhere forever. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't believe that a person who rents an apartment is entitled to be there forever. No. I'm not saying that they deserve to do you bad and dirty and all of that, but no, as a renter, you have to be on your guard about that. It's the same thing that happened in 2021 or whatever, when they told people that the building was sold. Like, for instance, you got this guy that has that tire shop across from Ollie's Trot. His scheduled lease is up. Why is he fighting not getting out of there? Either pay the higher rent or go away. Listen, man, you don't own the building. And I know it sounds cold, but these are the things that you have to understand. This is why it's important to be self-sufficient, because these people don't owe you anything if you don't own it. And even if they want to take it from you, then they got to pay you for it. And we need that type of mindset. They don't owe him nothing for being a renter at that damn tire shop. And I don't understand why Black radio, this is what I don't understand. I don't understand why they capping for this dude, man. Why don't you focus on Ollie Trot, who's done it the right way? He's down there and he's going to hit a home run on their ass because he owns the property. Ain't nobody doing him dirty. He's taking offers right now because that's the way you're supposed to position yourself. Don't nobody owe that man at that tire shop nothing. He was there for 6 years. He lived out his lease. And then he went month to month. When you go month to month, everybody know what month to month is. It don't mean month to month you leave when you want to. You have a clear understanding that if the landlord wants you out after 30, he has to give you a 30-day notice. That's all he's obligated to do. If you want to leave, you only got to give him a 30-day notice and you can leave. Ain't nobody thinking about, well, you know what? If you leave, he can't make money on his rent no more. You don't think like that. You just think what they doing to the person. What you doing if you just up and leave his property and he don't have any other renters? You can't just be looking at things one way. You gotta look at the whole picture. Tell the truth about what's going on with the man's lease. Why does he think he should be there? When you go month to month, that means after 30 days, if the landlord want to give you 30 days to leave, he has that right. That's the agreement that y'all have. And if he wants to make the rent $6,000 versus $2,000 or $10,000 worth of, he has that right. He owns the building. I know why they don't listen to me. I know I'm brutal. I'm brutal. I tell too much damn truth. Some people think I'm silly and all that old goofy ass shit. It's cool. It is what it is, man. But I need these numbers on this stuff from the 48 master plan. I need this shit. I need to look at it. I need to research it. And you best believe I know how to do it. Yeah, they are. Althea Williams says, but as a homeowner, if they want your property, they are definitely coming for it. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Put a couple dollar signs on that if, and buts. You're absolutely right, but they gonna pay. They gonna pay. Let me just say something to you. You see what they did down at the FC Cincinnati Stadium? Do you really think they paid market rent or market price for them properties down there? They didn't. They paid above average. They wanted the properties, and they gave people, they gave a lot of owners, they gave them some money. They gave them a deal that they couldn't refuse. And for everybody that got a problem with that church, I don't want to say too much about the church, but because it's not my place to talk about their business, but that church made out real good. And I seen some of y'all down there with cell phones and cameras and shit down there taking pictures, talking about how they was displacing and tearing up the church and all that old shit. Y'all do know that that's where I used to skin my knees up. We used to run track and around the fence and play down there by the church. I remember when the church was getting redone when I was a little boy. I remember all that shit. I remember when they used to have the picnics outside. I remember all that old shit. But you don't hear me bitching because I know what the church got. I know the deal that they got, and I know where they moved them to. And I know what kind of money they put in their bank account. And you know what? There was people down there bitching and contesting that move and talking about it being torn down and all that old shit, and they didn't know nothing about the deal. I didn't see no church members down there when they took the bulldozer. I didn't see them down there chaining themselves to the doors and shit. I didn't see that. Yeah, I remember what they used to do back in the day. They take them chains and the padlock and they padlock and chain themselves to the building. Don't tear this one down. No, they didn't do that shit. They didn't do that. So now here's the thing. Let me just ask you something. Let's cut through the chase. Let's stop the bullshit. I'm finished with the jokes and all that old shit. Real talk. Who seen today's apology as an apology versus an acknowledgement of what possibly could have happened. And I seen some comments in here earlier, and some people said, "Yep, I knew that. I seen that. I seen that." They had what was it? 700 businesses, black-owned businesses downtown at one time in Cincinnati. Who can contest to that? Who can contest to that? Y'all know I'm gonna look the shit up, right? Like, I'm gonna look it up. Like, it ain't no way in hell you about to tell me something and put it in writing, and I can write it down, and then you come on and you say something. I'm a researcher, so I'm definitely gonna look the shit up. I'm gonna have business owners' names. I'm gonna tell you the name of the businesses. I'll have this shit real soon. It might not be in the next couple of days. I got a little busy schedule, but I will be able to tell you. I'll probably be able to do it over the weekend. But damn it, when I lived in the law homes in the 70s as a baby and got a little older to go to the store and get me 25-cent bags of candy and shit like that, and now laters and Reese cups and all that, and the Three Musketeers was this big for a quarter. It wasn't that many businesses down there to go to. And I can tell you right now, the businesses that we visited, the Vince Martins, the GJs, and fish bars and all that old shit, they didn't own the properties. Now, y'all know they're about 2 years too late. I didn't have a conversation about the property owners in downtown Cincinnati when I was there, because I knew them. Y'all know I had conversations with Vince Martin. Rest his soul. Great guy, him and his wife. Vince Martin told me out his mouth, he said, "Man, the biggest mistake I ever made in my life is not buying this building." He told 10-year-old that. I used to sweep up in Vince Martin's store. I was a little kid that would sweep the floor and shit for a quarter so I can play Space Invader or whatever it was. Damn the candy. I had money for candy. I wanted to play that damn Space Invader. So he had me sweeping up, and Vince didn't need the store swept. He was just a good guy. He was a great guy. He knew I didn't even do a good job probably, but I thought I did. I'd sweep behind the machine. I'd do everything. Damn it. Give me that quarter, Vince. But now let's just be honest. Is there any pictures? What's the business district look like? I mean, there was 25,000 people that lived down there. I'm not suggesting that they didn't. I just never knew. There was 80 churches. $80 churches, 6 funeral homes. Damn. And they closed and they disrupted 10 schools. I just don't know. I never heard of it. My granny never did. This is some shit my grandmother would have told me, because she knew where she was gearing my mind to be, and that was to be totally independent, business oriented. I don't understand why my granny never told me this shit. And then how did they end up the street in Law Homes? Y'all know Queensgate is right down the road. How did Law Homes, are these the people that got displaced? Did you send them to Law Homes, Lincoln Courts, Avondale? Did you start all these different suburbs, Madisonville? Is that how these communities became what they are? Because y'all know if they would have asked me to come on there, I'd have had a story to tell their ass too. Because, I want to be on the board. I want to be somewhere when they start passing out the checks or whatever the fuck they got working down there. Because they got some shit going. Because you didn't do this, Mr. Scotty, from the kindness of your heart. Okay? You didn't do it for the kindness of your heart. I respect you, brother. I really do. But I just got to be 100. It's coming from my heart. And I would not be able to say this I can't end my show not telling how I feel about that. This was not an apology for no reason. And it was not just an apology just because we want to bring confirmation of what happened. No, this is people who are in this world today, in America today, that are setting foundations for you know what? Reparations. They brought in two people to do the research that have a background in doing research like this. And this is their hustle. I'm not suggesting that it's a bad hustle. I'm saying they do case study. This is what they do. They align this. Now, here's my thing. Y'all ain't seen the trouble yet. The trouble is, how do you select who gets it? How do you select? Why do I grew up in law homes. Why does his family get reparations and mine don't? See, this is one of the privileges, of course, being in those circles. I will admit, y'all know I'm a square. I don't fit in circles. So they probably will, I'll never be on the radar of getting a check. But got a piece of truth for you, and I got to incorporate this. Scotty did mention a couple businesses. One of the businesses down on Lynn Street right now, I'm very familiar with. I've donated money to them. Everybody know. Not everybody don't know. I'm just saying, and I've made my contributions to the Q kids, the little girls. They're in the building that a few of the stores when I was growing up was right there. And I've gone in there. I've donated a few things so they can do raffles and do money. They can raise money, and they've come out to a few of my events and did the routines and dances, and they did raffles, and they made good money. And the Q kids are wonderful. They're great kids, but they've been part of the circle. They've been able to be in the situations where, the lady that runs the program has done a great job of being in the being in the right place. And she has a great program, keeping them young ladies steady and off the streets and putting on them down. They have the greatest little uniforms. They always wear uniforms that fit I just love the Q kids. I'm gonna be honest with you. They did some things down at the what is that? What's the soccer place? FC Cincinnati soccer games. They've done all of that. But see, we all know in order for certain agendas to get held, you got to pull certain people in. You got to name, you got to have some faces. You got to have some faces in certain places for the guard of the people that's on guard. You got to have that guard go down a little bit. So FC and all them, they, adopt a few little black faces, and that's how they jump they shit off. That's how it go. So I heard the mayor. I heard Scotty and the mayor say some shit about the Q kids and how they were going to be funding and helping them. If this is about a reparations or a 1948 master plan that went wrong, what about all of us that came from that area who lost out on opportunity? What about all of us? We all probably were down in a place that we didn't have no business being. We all were probably displaced in some kind of way. So how do you tell people today you get something, but the others don't get anything? This is going to be a serious divide. You ain't going to tell me that you're going to give a motherfucker from Lincoln Courts 10,000 and you ain't going to give me 10,000. I can't imagine somebody from Law Homes or from Lincoln Courts hearing that they giving, man, did you hear they giving all them Law Home residents? And then if your grandmama or your mama dead, they give you their piece of money too. Oh, it's going to be some fights. So explain to me what comes with this apology. What do we get? Scotty said it's not about economics. Of course it is, Mr. Scotty. Let me say something to you. Y'all know I've been very critical on what is this city council. Y'all wanted an all-black city council. Y'all voted them in. I've been very critical of what have they done for Cincinnati. What have they done for Black Cincinnati? This is it. Here it is. This was the big fucking icing on the cake. This was the cherry on top and all that. This is it. So now that you done dug this hole, I need to know what's going to be, what are you rising? What are you raising out of the hole? What are you doing? What are you doing? What was the purpose of acknowledgement? What was the purpose of this? So we can forget. I don't think Cincinnati even, how many of us were angry about some shit we didn't know nothing about? And to be honest with you, Scotty and them didn't know about it. Trust me, he didn't know. He was told by somebody. And this was one thing that he can put on his plate when he got in office. And he can say, oh yeah, this is it. This is what we need to bring acknowledgement to what happened to us. I'm just asking. I hope I don't sound bitter or sound like I'm like hating or some shit. I'm just being honest. Like, I've been very critical of okay, y'all been wanting people that look like us to be in these roles. It ain't the first time we've been there. We didn't have black mayors, black vice mayors, all this old shit. Somebody in the crowd asked, they let them ask some questions. Somebody in the crowd asked a question and said, why now? Why are y'all going after this now? What was the point of this now? Why now? And he said, well, because I'm here now. Scotty definitely pulled a power move today. Let me say this for the record. Scotty looked more relevant than Aftab did. Y'all know Aftab ain't gonna be here long. You know this was a resume move. Y'all be clowning Kelly Prather and all these people and Stefan Pryor and all them for running for offices and several offices and all that old shit. I don't hear y'all clowning Aftab. Aftab then had several positions and ran for him and left the position to go on to another elected position. I don't hear y'all tripping on him. He left the clerk of courts to be the mayor. You had to be voted. You ran to be the clerk of courts. You didn't even fulfill your term. You got in the mayor's race. You ain't doing no different than what Kelly Prather and them do. What the fuck? And the black community ain't saying shit. But y'all clown us when we do that. Mr. and Mrs. trying to be elected to anything. Well, what about this? What y'all think he done did? What you think he do? And y'all know there's somebody next in line because he's only using this, just like most people in politics. He's only using this as a stepping stone so he can move up in the political ladder. He's no different than the other politicians. Quite frankly, he's a super nice guy, probably. Clean cut, real nice guy. Y'all see him in the next few years. You'll see what he gonna do. This is not his final stop of politics. He didn't spearhead this apology. This was Scotty's thing. I get it. You can tell Scotty was the alpha of this situation. Quite frankly, after I do my research of all the numbers and find out everything I need to know, trust me, I believe that their resources I believe the resources. I believe certain numbers. I believe it's there, but I got to get it in proper content. You know, because you got some people that compare the things that's happening in 2023 to some of the things that's happening in 1954. We hear that with the perm in the suit guy all the time. And it could be some truth in it, 10% lie to make 100% truth for some people. I want to show y'all this final video. I want to show you this final video. It didn't take Greg Landsman long, did it, Angela? She said he gonna be headed to D.C. like Landsman. You know them guys. You know what the move is, man. They say what they need to say, and they get in a position, and they know what they doing. Everybody know what they doing. The only people that don't know what they doing is the people that they get to vote for them. I'm gonna play this final video, and then I want to know what y'all think. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. It is the final comment of, it's the final question that's asked on the panel that night, or in the apology. It's the final question because they did take questions, and I just want to know what's your reaction to this. I mean, do you feel this was a bad, or was this a wrong or a bad, or what's your reaction to the reaction to the question? Check it out.
Move. Stefan.
Piggyback off that, I thought this apology came from the sale of the railroad if it come to fruition, and the what she just said, stated what she just said. Is this apology just because money coming down the pipeline to make things right?
No, I don't. Let me say this, and let me say this. I don't operate like that. I would not be standing here if it was based solely on economics. It's based on a heart of compassion. It's based on the fact it was way overdue. I don't play that economic game. Okay, economics are coming now, we need to do this. You can never bring me into that type of shallow thinking. That's too shallow thinking for me. This is about having the information, accurate information, and then when I got that information, that's why we're standing here now. I don't play those economic games because it looks good. This is from the heart. I'm too old to play those type of games, but I appreciate the question.
Ah, my head hurt. What? There it is. You guys don't understand how difficult it is for me not to say what I really want to say. Because I want Scotty and them guys to be okay with me. I kind of want to be a voice one day and be welcome at the fucking Black family reunion. I don't want to have to dodge and shit when I go down to the Black Taste of Cincinnati and the Black family reunion. I want to enjoy myself at the jazz festival and shit. Okay? I want to enjoy myself when I go to the jazz festival. I don't want to be down there like I'm a dope boy in the neighborhood looking over my shoulder from the police or getting robbed. I don't want to have to worry about what motherfucker about to be tapping me on my shoulder asking me, "You that Wyatt dude, ain't you?" I don't want to have to worry about all that. So I'm going to keep it real square and simple. Mr. Scotty, if it's not about economics, then what the fuck is it about? We're supposed to love you now more because you brought this information to the table. We're supposed to think that you did your due diligence by giving us information that we clearly all didn't know nothing about anyway. It's not like we all were lined up telling everybody this shit happened, and you came to the rescue and proved it for us. Nobody was in line saying this shit. Nobody in here. I ain't never heard nobody in my years of doing the podcast, my years of being in downtown Cincinnati. I have never heard anybody talking about 1948. I never heard of it. So I don't think Black Cincinnati was standing in line waiting for this, and you came to the rescue and gave us all this information. Trust me, brother. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that you've done this, because it's information that if it work out, pan out like I'm gonna do my research and it work out, brother, I'm with you. I'm with you now. Y'all have been on this. Anybody that's been on this show that understand me, y'all know I'm for reparations. I'm just not for the cut the check reparations. I'm not in that line. I believe reparations should come in the form of a different way, because I don't want to fuck up the money. I don't want to fuck up the church's money, because if you just start cutting checks to motherfucker, it's going to be the wild, wild west. Everybody going to go to the casino. Some people going to blow their money. It's going to be more Cadillacs and Lincolns and shit riding around with dice in the mirror and all that old shit. I don't want to see all that. They're going to fuck the money up. I need something more equitable. I need something more equitable. I need us to get education. I need us to get tax exemptions. That's what I need. I go for the things that are relevant, the things that are real. I need the things that are really, really, really gonna matter. These motherfuckers, they'll bring VCRs back to life, putting them in their cars and shit. You give somebody 50,000, they gonna fuck up 48 of it on a car. Still ain't even got a crib. Well, I'm waiting for my next check. When I get my next check, then I get me a garage. I'm getting this whip now. I got 2,000 to work with after that. Shit, I'm good. Ugh. I'm just saying. Anybody that know me know that I'm for reparations. Y'all know that. I just think that my reparation plan would be something different. It would be in the form of, why should little kids like my daughter, why should your kids, why should your grandkids have to pay for an education? An education is an undervalued tool. We think school costs a lot. It does. But you get 3 times the amount of money on the average salary than someone that does not have an education. Sounds like an investment to me. It's more of an investment than it is anything. It's not a bill. It's an investment. It's an investment that pays off. I just think that reparation comes in a form of tax. You know why? Because all the money that was stolen and taken away from people who worked for free in slavery and all that old type of shit, or displaced, or people that were not done right, all of it benefited somebody else economically. So the only answer that you can give somebody in reparations would be in a money form, which means you can convert that money form into a deed, which means give me the education, give me the tax exemption. That's the payback. Give me the business loans with no APR, with 0 rate. Damn it, if I fuck up my business loan, damn it, I just messed it up. I ain't got no retract to that. I gave it a shot, damn it. I started a computer compare stop and it didn't work out. Had my shot. Just don't cut checks. Because that ain't gonna never come out fair. That's never gonna come out fair for us. Some of y'all got mixed kids. I mean, think about how they ever gonna work this shit out. Ain't nothing wrong with having mixed kids. I'm just saying, how do you work this shit out? Some of y'all didn't really live downtown. Here's the other thing. So y'all think in 1950, the 25,000 that was down in what was that area? Queensgate? You think the only 25,000 black people in the whole city of Cincinnati all live down there? All of them. Every black person in the city of Cincinnati lived in that area. So what about the black families that didn't live in Queensgate? They entitled to reparations as well. They entitled to the money. I wonder if this apology applied to them. See what I'm saying? I mean, how do you fit and how you pick and choose who is what and what is what, and how do you? Come on now, they can't even point the apology to any. You don't even know if that apology is meant for you. The fuck? I don't know if my granny and them was there in 48. Some of y'all didn't get to Cincinnati to 60. To 1960. Some of y'all came from Alabama. Some of y'all motherfuckers from Detroit. Stop playing. You don't even know. I'm just saying. What was the point of this? Who was in line? Who seen this coming? Who wrote a proposition? Who wrote to city council and said, damn it, they did us wrong in 1948. All those promises, they did this, they did that, they did this, and displaced us. It was 25,000. There was 9,000 dwellings. They took 80 churches and 10 schools. How many of y'all was doing that? How many of us was doing that? Now, let me ask you, how do we feel today? This is real shit, Lord. Let's stop playing. How do you feel today after hearing all that shit they said in that apology today? How does every fucking black person in the city of Cincinnati feel right now? You having a good day? You feel fucked up, don't you? Damn. The fuck? They did all that? They closed 10 schools? Man, they fucked up 80 churches, closed 66 funeral homes. Damn, them white folks ain't shit. You know the first thing I'm gonna do? I want to know who was council then. I want to know what the city council looked like. I want to know makeup. What was the demographic? Oh, y'all think I'm talking about white and black. No, I'm talking about what party they were. Yeah. I ain't thought of that shit yet, have you? You ain't thought about the people who made these decisions. Was it Democrat leadership? Was it Republican leadership? I'm curious to know. I want to know. I know the court records will tell me what I need to know about the dwellings. Y'all gonna get something out of this, and you're gonna think that Wyatt was playing. Y'all gonna think that I didn't take this serious. No, sometimes you have to smile with the pain. I was taught that the hard way. I remember going to school one day and the dude, I ain't gonna tell y'all what I did. Yeah, I could tell you. Fuck it. I don't care. We was in the classroom playing. This is an all black school. I went to CCA. It's a short one. Trust me. I got a couple seconds. I went to a school called CCA. It's a black school in Madisonville. And we was all playing in the classroom, having a good ass time. And we was just like boxing and shit, having a little good time because the teacher wasn't in the room. And a dude hit me, and I passed gas. Like, you know the old saying and shit like, I knocked the shit out of you. Well, that wasn't a good look when a motherfucker punch you and you fart. Okay? And I'm a little dude. Oh, that made everybody in the class laugh. Because I already was on my defense and shit. I was already the small guy in the classroom, and this big old dude punched the shit out of me. And he got me in a good spot. Kidney shot. Nigga passed gas. So they heard it. Everybody in the room heard the shit. Now, y'all know I don't back down from no fight, no boxing, none of that shit. I'm there for it. But I wasn't ready for all that laughing. I wasn't ready. Okay? So when I get punched and the motherfucker hit that head, and they was like, and the girls was laughing. Everybody was fucking tripping. So now, motherfucker, we got to fight for real because I'm embarrassed. Yeah, I'm embarrassed. So now I'm in my raw mode. I ain't gonna lie. What? I'm in the 6th grade. Come on, man. Give me a break. I'm in the 6th grade. So we get the punching for real hard and bang, bang, bang. And I get in trouble. Me and the little dude damn near get suspended. They make us come to the office. Mr. Simpson, not Mr. Simpson, Mr. Kelly was the principal. Y'all know Mr. Kelly's? Y'all remember the party spot, the club, Mr. Kelly's? His dad, Mr. Kelly, is who owned that store. Mr. Kelly and his wife were educators. I ain't talking about Mr. Kelly who owned the club. I'm talking about Mr. Kelly who owned the club. His mama and his daddy owned the school. The Kellys were great people. Vanessa Kelly was their daughter, granddaughter, the granddaughter my age in my class. I had a crazy crush on her. She was beautiful. But I was like the help because they owned the school and I'm just a little kid from Law Homes, damn it. And I had to ride 2 buses to get there. Yeah, that's one of them old stories. But anyway, this dude punched the shit out of me. Not literally, damn near, but he punched me. I get into the fight. We get sent to the office. Listen to club people. Mr. Kelly's was the spot. Damn, I can't. Let me tell my story. Have some compassion. Don't talk about Mr. Kelly's, okay? I know it was a hot spot. I never really went there, but it was cool. A couple times. But anyway, I get into a conversation with Mr. Kelly in there, and that's when I learned that sometimes you have to laugh at yourself. Sometimes you just have to laugh at yourself. Sometimes you can't be so serious, and when something happens to you that's real funny, sometimes you got to bust out laughing louder than everybody laughing at you. Sometimes you got to laugh at yourself and laugh with people when they're laughing at you. I learned that lesson at a young age, and I kind of kept that with me. Now, I want to play this video all the way to its entirety. It's just that it's the last one that I just showed you. It's the last question that's posed to Scotty to Cincinnati. Okay, y'all got to understand, these questions are to Cincinnati, not to Scotty, not to the vice mayor, not to the mayor. These are questions coming from the audience. And I'm just going to be honest with you. It was a legitimate question. Now, y'all know Stephon Pryor could get that one kind of way. They know him. Shit, when they know you by name and they see your ass coming, it's only one or two things that's good about it. It's either good or it's bad, right? It's only one or two things. They tired of your ass or they love you because you in the circle. You asking the questions or you doing the things they need you to do. But when you ask uncomfortable questions, that's when the motherfuckers know you. And when hey, what's up, Wyatt? What's up, Wyatt? They damn near piecing your ass out before you go, what's up, Wyatt? Okay. They kind of do Stephon the same way because they want to call him crazy. They want you to they want him to be crazy. He can come off a little crazy, but he had a legitimate question. Let me play this question, and then I want to know what your reaction is to the question that he posed. I just want to know if you thought that this was a crazy question, how do you feel about the reaction? Check it out.
Move. Stephon.
Piggyback off that, I thought this apology came from the sale of the railroad if it come to fruition, and what she just said, stated what she just said. Is this apology just because money coming down the pipeline to make things right?
No, I don't. Let me say this, I don't operate like that. I would not be standing here if it was based solely on economics. It's based on a heart of compassion. It's based on the fact that it was way overdue. I don't play that economic game. Okay, economics are coming now, we need to do this. You can never bring me into that type of shallow thinking. That's too shallow thinking for me. This is about having the information, accurate information, and then when I got that information, that's why we're standing here now. I don't play those economic games because it looks good. This is from the heart. I'm too old to play those type of games, but I appreciate the question. If there's nothing else, thanks a lot. Greatly appreciate you being here.
He took that question personal. That lets me know that it's about him. Y'all don't get mad at me. He probably mad at me for making that comment, but that's how it came off. Because he didn't ask you. He didn't say, hey, Scotty, is the only reason why you are doing this is for that? So you got very defensive in that question. He got very defensive in that question. He should have said, no, we are doing this for this particular reason. And we wanted to bring this to the attention to the folks. And we're doing this out of compassion. We are. I'm not sure, Angela. I have to go back and watch the video. Angela Kinney asked, what was the question before Stefan's? I'm not quite sure. I think it has something to do. I don't know. I don't want to misrepresent it, but it may have had something to do with like the railroad, the purchase of the railroad, the selling of the railroad, or something of that nature. Because Stefan did say something like, I want to piggyback off what that person said. But that don't mean he was piggybacking off of the question or the comment right before his. It could have been one addressed some other time and he pointed over to him or something and said, well, what that person was talking about a couple questions ago, I want to piggyback on that. That could have very well have been the same. That might have been what happened. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can go back and look at the video. I got the whole video. Matter of fact, for the record, I actually shared it. It's on my Facebook page if anybody wants to go back and look at the entire video of the apology. It's on my Facebook page at Randall Wyatt. It's on my personal page. I'll share it over to the Wyatt Live pub page as well. And then I will also share it in the Wyatt Live Messenger group. That way you can get it. A lot of people probably already got it. But just in case you didn't, feel free to let me see. Let me just make sure I can get a hold of it. Yeah, it's right here. Let me make sure. I'll share it to all the platforms. So however you get to me, go check it out. You can see it on my personal page or whatever. I can't wait to hear what other people are going to say. I can't wait to hear what the reaction will be. I already know how it's going to be on the radio. I already know. I can only imagine with Cincinnati, who generally have selective hearing, who I know what they're going to get out of this. They're not going to do any. I very seldom think. I just don't think it's going to be methodically thought out. I don't think the questions are going to be aligned. I don't think the comments. I think what they're going to do is they're going to be saying shit that I just hear left field shit. I heard questions asked to Scotty about, is this like when he said this is totally different than this displacement from 1948 is totally different than the FC Cincinnati stuff. There are people that are going to use them same equivalents to this situation. And I quite honestly don't believe it's the same. I think people are going to do that. And I already know. I can imagine how the conversations will be in the city based on that press conference. I can only imagine how it's going to be. They're going to light it up. It's going to be everything. Y'all know it's going to be Trump's fault. Y'all know it's going to be them dirty ass Republicans, and it was probably Trump giving them the information. Y'all know that, right? Trump didn't fuck y'all up in 1948. You know that the dude at the radio can't say nothing but Trump. It's always the dirty white Republicans and Trump. I promise you. I promise you. Let me make sure I got this video on lock for you. Let me make sure. I'll send it over right now just to make sure everybody got it. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. All right, I just sent it over again. I sent it over to the Facebook page. I sent it over to the Twitter. I sent it over to the pages so everybody can take a look at it. All right. So feel free to go look at that video anytime you want to. It's about 28 minutes long. The press conference or the apology is 28 minutes long. I can't wait to dig my teeth into this and start my research. I'm going to really enjoy doing it. I'm really going to enjoy doing it because I'm a historian. I love telling, or I love the truth. I love the history. And I can't think of a better place than do some dig down history and go into Cincinnati, 1948. Peace and love to everybody. That's my time for this evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow at what time? Put it in the screen, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. We starting on time tomorrow, y'all. If y'all not here, that's on you. If you're not here, we starting on time. That siren will be going off by 9:05. I promise you. Peace and love to everybody, man. Nothing but love for everybody.
Fine chalk line and put the needle to the climb. Representing one kind, see an eye for the blind. Witness what I carry on, there's a further purpose. From how we do slam a few, then you wanna purchase a dialogue of funk, you love to pop it in your trunk. I win more discipline than a Shaolin monk. Pete Rock and CL, well set this market. The powerful target to destroy the black market. But when you say black, listen, I don't know, you lose me. I guess another beggar can't afford to be choosy. I come to the maximum, artist on the major label. Any duplication of this one is failed. On 125, I gotta hit your live. Beat your ass with my tape, any race or shape. Cause if they got mine, they got yours too. But together, here's what we gotta do. I pass on, fluency for high rates. Every time we sample over pastime greats, stick it in the SP 1200 beater, make a loop. Lovely way to troop in the Lexus group. Just a little bit set to make a whole lot happen. The musical inside my rapping, written by the CL, produced by the PR, and any credit that you heard thus far. A start from scratch to the bassline's critical, better than the original who first made it. Now you wanna sue me, but fans never boo me. Believe I know the times we've been broke too, G. Here's another sample clear, see you get the hell out of here. Like a bootleg, you're open for the year. You only get the credit where the credit is due. So listen, what I shout out is true.
Let's